picture perfect. She doesn't even put up a show that she is an affable character, but there is still something about her that can really draw you to her. Like one of the characters says also, Dr. Naya's character, that there's something about that girl that makes you do things. And that was the same for me. There was something about that character that just made me do things. Like, it wasn't scripted. The character, yes, there is a basic foundation that we had, but what we were creating with Meenakshi was, a lot of it was done on ground, like as we were going into the scenes, like, yeah, you know what, try this, try that, and so it was great being off script and just being able to play around with that character.
But Tanya, this is completely different from the work that you have already done. So as an actor, I mean, a person thinks twice to get on that shoes. कि हम उसमें सफल हो पाएंगे या नहीं. Were there any second thoughts before venturing into the project?
Not at all. Actually, that was the thing that drew me in. I was like, I really want to break my character. I don't want to keep playing shades of Tanya. And this was also a shade of Tanya that I never really thought about, or I never really gave myself the chance to, grow into. And with Meenakshi, I got that chance ki you won't necessarily be the most liked person in the room, yet you draw that authority. You sort of demand that presence in the room. When you walk in, people look at you, people listen to you, and I respect that about her, that she is just who she is. And I mean, for me, that was the best thing about playing Meenakshi, that she was nothing like I've ever done.
So, also, yes, please continue.
I think the way Meenakshi is probably not somebody, I mean, a young girl, and what we are trying to do on screen is not making the audience fall in love with her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the way she is. She's flawed. She goes and makes mistakes, and largely that's what she does. Making mistakes. But she takes on the world, and the world which is dominated by men, a world which is dominated by rules. She takes that on. I think she's badass. She's nasty. She's not likable, but I think she's all heart, and that's really where the character is.
Also, sir, it is looking larger than life. So, as a creator, tell us about your experience and what you have gone through as a creator, for the preparation.
So it's been a very, very difficult show to mount. I mean, nobody knows that we wrote this show much before the pandemic. Much before COVID even hit. So it almost predicted the pandemic. Not a good thing to say, but my interactions with this world of science gave me this sense that anything can go wrong anytime. And that's what made me write this. And then it went through all the troubles of COVID, the waves and the multiple waves and stopping and starting, and then when it got finally shot, then it got into whether should we mention COVID, not mention COVID, put it in pre-COVID, put it in post-COVID, and all those things happened. But one thing that we tried to capture is that in this particular world of science, like in many other worlds of science, things just can go wrong. And that's really what the first season's plot is about. But for us, it is not so much the plot, it is the character of Meena. And if you look at long-running detective stories, not just on screen, but in books and other forms of media, you will realize that the plot becomes unimportant beyond a point in time. It is really the detective who drives you forward. And what we tried to create is this young girl who's taking on the world, as I said, and moving forward. What I tried to create was, and in my mind, the young girls are the heroes of the future, and almost a kind of an inspiration for girls who are growing up, saying that they can take on the world, they can break the rules, and when you're breaking the rules, you're not necessarily doing bad things. When you're breaking the rules, you're also doing good things, but you can take it on. And that's why Tanya really, this frail girl who can take it on, and I think she's gone deep inside Meena, and with all Meena's vulnerabilities, her strengths, her making mistakes, plodding through things, not knowing what detection is all about, because she's not really a detective, but hopefully post this experience she'll grow into one.
Right. Also, sir, have you not planned the theatrical release of this film?
This is a series, so
That sounds like a good idea.
Any plans
To take
as I
it-
mentioned, it's larger than life, so any plans to make it
into a film? No plans right now. Right now the plan is to reach as many people with the show that has been put together,
Yeah.
and try and see if we can take Meena and her spirit to the world.
Maybe some other project or that kind of a cinema where detective movies are made. Recently there's this also trend which is happening. Hollywood में तो बहुत सारी फिल्में ऐसी हैं, but even for the Indian audience, the grassroots level cinema which is connected to detectives and all those things that we have been watching since the 80s and 70s in the film industry.
60s.
60s, of course. So are there any plans in your mind as a creator? I mean, do you have anything that?
Do I like this genre? I love it. This is what I really do, dig this genre. Do I want to do a large screen project in this genre? Of course. The moment I get an opportunity to do it, I'll do it.
Tanya, you are playing a character which is vulnerable also, and it seems like you might not end up doing the right thing at the end, but still you have that same feeling and you are doing again to find out something which you want to. Like, it's not a normal kind of role, has its layers. Tell us about that preparation.
So when we were prepping for it only, when I read the character the first time, she seems like a very ordinary, like a girl who you can just pass by and you wouldn't even pay attention to. But there's an overriding sense of wanting to do the right thing. Right thing is not necessarily, like sir was saying, that it does involve a lot of rule breaking and it does involve a lot of angst within her as well, but the overriding sense still is that I want to do what would be right by the other person, and that is, I think, the driving force behind Meena, that no matter what the risk is, she is willing to put in that effort, she is willing to walk that extra step, walk that extra mile, because that is who she is. She doesn't care about the risk that she would be putting herself into, because that needs to be done. That is the thing about her. That is the thing that needs to be done, and she is the one who's going to be executing it, because she knows that she lives in a world where people live by the rules, where rule breaking is seen as something that you need to put down. You need to fit into the society, and Meena doesn't really care about those things. She does what she thinks needs to be done. And I think that is such a beautiful thing, because that is her flaw, that she would constantly be willing to push the limits, constantly be willing to push the boundaries. But at the end of the day, she's really trying to do the people around her a good turn, without any sense of selfishness that she's going to get anything from it, but a sense of completion. That I think is just who Meenakshi is.
Yeah.
Yeah, just,
Also, one point is that at times you find Meenakshi to be irritating.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great thing, and we have built on her being irritating, because if you're conforming, the conformists find people irritating. And that's the whole world, and that's one of the things in the world that Meenakshi is taking on. Okay, and so often when she's being branded as irritating, flawed, nagging, that's exactly what we are trying to build.
Yeah, she's real.
She's real, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't care about the perfectness, and she is not any of those things, and she doesn't even pretend to be those things. So that annoying habit, that annoyance that she already has, that angst that she has, there's a constant irritation around her.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, we did build on those things because Meenakshi is those things, and I feel like without those things she'd be incomplete and she'd be like any other character.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
But Tanya, coming to you know, I mean, we have seen on the screen that the characters who were there in the film, the characters are huge. I mean, all the big names are there. Takas, Kafi, Badi. How was your experience in real life and then when you come to the game?
In real life, working with these actors, I think it was amazing because the thing is that none of us were like the characters that we were cast into. So I don't know what casting went into this, but amazing casting because it was such a joy to be around these people. Be it Param sir, be it Jishu sir, be it Vinay sir, Zarina ma'am, everybody. I think they're such good people. They're such good human beings that obviously, I mean, they're great actors, and that goes without saying because they are here. But they're such fun to work with. They're such fun scene partners because I think it's very important when you are gelling with your scene partner because there's a constant exchange of energy. There's a banter that's going on with you guys. So these characters, I mean, I got along with them in real life really well. I think they're such lovely people. So I was just having a great time offset, but on set also I think everybody understood the texture of the characters so much that it was never a discussion. It just went along with it. Like everybody just knew what to do and how to respond to each other. So I think that is such for me it's a blessing as an actor, as a human being, to get to meet such interesting people and to be able to share screen space with them obviously is then a whole other conversation.
बॉलीवुड की फिल्मों में भी क्या आप काम करना चाहेंगी आने वाले समय में हम देख सकते आपको?
जी मैं कर रही हूँ. हाँ जी, तो आएंगी आपको ज़रूर सुनाई. अभी उनके बारे में बात करेंगे, बट राइट नाउ इट्स अबाउट बी आई मीना. थैंक यू.